Arch Enemy is not slowing down, the Cradle of Filth scandal escalated, and Guns N' Roses are preparing something extra special for their fans. Metal is life and well, so let's see what keeps it going today. Here you go. Gojira pushes through. Gojira just announced a small but important shake-up for their upcoming French tour. Joe Duplantier injured his hand and cannot play guitar for the upcoming dates, but he will still sing on all of the future concerts. Joe explained this situation on Instagram, saying that he recently had a minor surgery and needs some time to heal, and instead of cancelling anything, the band brought in Greg Kubatski from Carbomb to fill in on guitar so the shows can continue as planned, with Joe summing it up perfectly, simply saying, "Show must go on." So yeah, on one hand, rather sad news for all the Gojira fans, but on the other one, well, they should be proud of their favorite band. As come on, Gojira is currently on such a rise that they simply cannot allow themselves to slow down. And that's exactly what they show their fans with this statement. And here guys, super quick, I just have to point out that only around 30% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to this channel. So if you're not one of those, and especially if this is not the first video you're watching here, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together. Helloween scare. But sadly, not all instruments can be easily replaced. Until this week, Helloween actually had to cancel their entire upcoming Southeast Asia tour because of the frontman Michael Kiske's health problems. As German power metal stalwarts revealed in their social media post, during the recent European tour, Kiske got severe respiratory disease, and in order to avoid long-term damage to his voice, Michael has been prescribed immediate bed rest by the doctor, and because of this, all December Helloween shows in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand actually had to be cancelled. Yet the band promises that if everything goes as planned and there are no complications, their 2026 tour will go on as planned. Just a reminder, last week Helloween announced a massive North American run for next year, and all of course to continue the celebration of their 40th anniversary. So on behalf of all the metal pilgrims, we wish Michael Kiske all the best and speedy recovery, and of course for Helloween to get up on that stage right away. And hey guys, Christmas is almost here, so it is now time to update your metal Christmas merch. I have actually already, and if you would like to support this show and rock some Metal Pilgrim merch this holiday season, just know that you can order it via a link in the description to this video, and I'll be more than happy to send it pretty much anywhere across the world, including our, Metal Christmas creature guy, who is of course inspired by all of the mascots to our favorite bands and has gazillion little clues and hints for die-hard fans of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica, Motorhead, and many other of the classic heavy metal bands. So guys, please check it out after watching this video. Arch Enemy is not slowing down. One of the most surprising news of this week, no matter what anyone says, is of course the whole fact that Arch Enemy and Alissa White-Gluz broke up after 12 years and 4 albums together. So yeah, just a week after the last concert of their massive tour together with Amorphis and Illuvity, Arch Enemy and Alissa White-Gluz simply decided to post a casual post on their social media pages saying that they decided to part ways, without giving any explanation whatsoever. And what is most importantly, without thanking each other in those posts. After which Arch Enemy decided to close all comments on their social media pages, like on all of them, and both camps unfollowed each other on Instagram, Facebook, and pretty much all the other social media platforms. Which of course quite a lot of controversy about a rather messy breakup between those. And by the way, guys, I did post a rather long video about the whole breakup and about all possible replacements for Alissa White-Gluz this week. So if you haven't watched it, and if you're a fan of Arch Enemy, definitely do it after watching this Metal Digest. So I'm not going to go into the details of it in this particular segment. But nevertheless, despite the whole fact that it was a rather surprising move, the two camps, of course, have been preparing for this one. As basically hours after announcing the split, Alissa White-Gluz has opened a new chapter of her career, releasing the first solo single after her departure from Arch Enemy just hours after the announcement, titled The Room Where She Died.
I say what the voice cannot.
And the day after that, despite all the fears, Arch Enemy themselves showed that they are not going to slow down in 2026 either, as in addition to the dates which were already announced for next year, when Alissa was still a part of this band, Arch Enemy announced that they will be among the top performers at next year's Wacken Open Air Festival in Germany, alongside such small bands as Judas Priest, Def Leppard, Powerwolf, Hamatom, In Flames, and Savatage, in addition to gazillion others. Although, of course, their picture on the festival's website remains to be the only one without a lineup on it. But nevertheless, the split between Arch Enemy and Alissa White-Gluz has happened. And you know what? Given the fact that they announced a massive performance at Wacken Open Air next year, one of the most legendary festivals in Europe and in the world overall, I think it's fair to assume that Arch Enemy are not going to hire somebody regular as a replacement for Alissa White-Gluz, and they're actually preparing something extraordinary for their fans next year. And you know what? Overall, I'll repeat one thing that I said in the separate video, which, by the way, you should watch once again. But I actually think that this split is for good. As on one hand, I'm actually really excited to see what Alissa White-Gluz can bring on the table by herself, and to see her utilize her clean vocals much more so than she was able to do in Arch Enemy. And at the same time, I actually think that with a new vocalist, or with an old new vocalist, Arch Enemy might be able to crank up that aggression which they were known for in their early days to 11, and thus give their fans exactly what they want. But I guess we will find out next year. Angra's shakeup. No, seriously, what the flip is going on? Brazilian power metal veterans Angra also decided to part with their longtime Italian vocalist Fabio Leone. And according to the band's message on social media, this decision was peaceful and on good terms, with the last Angra show with Fabio Leone taking place at the 35th anniversary concert on the Banger Open Air Festival in Sao Paulo, Brazil on April 26, 2026. When the band will reunite with Edo Falaschi, Kiko Loureiro, and Achilles Priester, and joined by the vocalist Alirio Neto. So yeah, we are of course not conspiracy theorists, but we can add 2 and 2. And now it all becomes absolutely clear, as given the fact that these two announcements came just one day, one after another, it is absolutely clear that Angra and Arch Enemy simply decided to swap vocalists, and from now on, Alissa White-Gluz will be growling at Angra, and Michael Emmett, well, first of all, he will have to rename his band to Arch Enemy of Fire, and secondly, well, instead of doubling down on aggression, he will double down on melodic aspect of his music. And now the time has come for your favorite part of the video, so let's take a look at 5 latest metal releases, which although did not get their own segments in this video, are still definitely worthy of your attention. German folk metal force Equilibrium released their new full-length album Equinox via Nuclear Blast. The band describes the album as a rebirth, blending cinematic metal grandeur with introspective moods and opening a new chapter in their journey. Norwegian black metal veterans 1349 dropped Winter Mass, a live album recorded during their 2021 Oslo show. The record delivers an hour of raw intensity and atmospheric chaos, revisiting both iconic tracks and deep cuts from their catalog. Prog metal icons Dream Theater released Quarantieme live in Paris, recorded during their 2024 European tour. Capturing their expansive set in the French capital, the album showcases a milestone performance from a band entering a fifth decade. British metal outfit Sylosis returned with the new Flash, combining crushing riffs with melodic depth. The record marks a reconnection with the band's roots while exploring new territory in terms of songwriting and intensity, of which we will know more when the album actually drops. But for now, let's enjoy the title track to it. Italian comedy metal crew Nanowar of Steel unleashed a new single, Feet and Greed, staying true to their signature blend of theatrical parody and genre homage. Expect tongue-in-cheek humor, bombastic flair, and catchy hooks wrapped in absurdity. And guys, by the way, for a while, many of you have been asking me to do another Q&A session, I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but next week, instead of that, I, together with Hell of the band Ignia, will be doing something a bit more special than that. Instead of me doing an interview with her, we'll actually switch places and she will interview me. And believe me, it is going to be fun. So if you would like to watch this very strange, fun and weird video and get to know me a little bit better, just know that I'll post a link to it in the description to this video. The scandal of the year. And in the latest episode of our segment, What the Flip Did I Just Read?, we'll talk about what is the real breakup of this year. As this week, 3 members of the band Vitriol quit the band amidst tour and literally abandoned their vocalist Kyle Rasmussen at a gas station during their North American run. And according to guitarist Keith Marrow, bassist Brett Lair, and drummer Andy Vincenzetti, they walked out after what they called Kyle's cowardly and weak outbursts of misplaced anger, adding that they simply had no other choice but to abandon him in the middle of nowhere in Vermont. The rest of the tour was immediately cancelled, and the guitarist Marrow called it a mass exodus, after which all 3 of the band members who left announced that they will be launching their own new band from now on. And just a short while after that, apparently where he was able to get online, Kyle, the vocalist, gave his account of the story. And it turned out to be even crazier than it sounded at first. In a 40-minute 2-part video, Kyle said that the band had been partying on nose beers after their show in New York, after which a tense argument blew up inside the RV, and Keith threatened to stab him, pushed his girlfriend, and tried to drag him out of the RV, after which he said the band left him, his girlfriend, and his dog Ghost at a closed ice cream shop in the snow, not in Vermont, but upstate New York. In addition to that, the band dumped all of his equipment in the snow on the road and left him with no money whatsoever. And that's exactly why he has no other choice but to start a GoFundMe campaign for him to get some money to be able to get back to civilization. No, seriously, I'm not making this up.
Oh, that's terrible.
You seem kind of psyched.
No, I'm bummed.
Oh, and by the way, after that, Keith, the guy who left the band and orchestrated this whole thing, simply wrote on Instagram, "Kyle sucks!" And that's it. So yeah, Arch Enemy, Angra, and all the other bands, this is how you break up. Revolution in Metal Church. US power thrash metal legends Metal Church announced a massive change in their lineup, with only guitar duo Kurt Vanderhoff and Rick Van Zandt remaining in the band. And so this week, well, keep up. Drummer Stat Holland, longtime bassist Steve Unger, and vocalist Mark Lopez all left the band. But instead of those, they got some pretty huge names. And thus, former longtime Vicious Rumors frontman Brian Allen took on vocal duties, Flotsam and Jetsam and former Alice Cooper, except House of Lords drummer Ken Mary, sat behind the kit, and former Megadeth bassist David Ellefson completed this all-star lineup, basically turning Metal Church into a new supergroup in the genre. And this updated Metal Church have already released their first single together, titled FAFO, which will become the first from their new album, which the band promises to release next year. And so, yeah, it looks like 2026 is going to be a pretty huge year for all of the updated legendary bands. The Cradle of Filth scandal escalates. Just when it seemed that the Zoe Fedorov Ashok meltdown has officially cooled down, this happens. And the whole thing explodes again, but this time at an absolutely new level, as 6 former Cradle of Filth members file a lawsuit against Danny Filth, Cradle of Filth Touring Ltd, Cradle of Filth LLP, and the Oracle Management. And this one, in addition to Zoe and Ashok themselves, also include Paul Allender, Richard Shaw, Lindsay Schoolcraft, and Sasha Baxter, who was featured in the To Live Deliciously and Malignant Perfection videos. Their list of accusations against Danny and company is quite extensive, but it does include copyright infringement, unauthorized use of the likeness on merch, unpaid royalties for past albums and live shows, misappropriation of copyrighted works, defamation, unjust enrichment, and even, are you ready? Broken gear and missing in-ear monitors. No, I'm serious. Fedorov, Ashoka, and Schoolcraft also claim that they never actually signed agreements which allowed Cradle of Filth to use their material and appearances commercially, and Shaw also claims that he only got paid around £500 for the 2023 recordings, and Baxter alleging that she was not paid at all for the 2 Cradle of Filth videos she took part in, one of which basically bases on her visual appearances. As of right now, Danny Filth and Cradle of Filth did not comment on the situation at all, but I do actually have a question regarding this. Why these come out only now in 2025? As for example, when it comes to Paul Allender, who by the way is of course a legendary Cradle of Filth guitarist and a legend for all of the diehard fans of this band. Well, the last time he actually played together with Cradle of Filth was all the way back in 2014, so he's actually accusing the band of something that happened at the very least 11 years ago. But nevertheless, we of course do not know what actually is going on there. And all we metalheads around the world can do here is, well, simply get more popcorn and enjoy the new season of our favorite TV show. Heartbreaking news about a faded star. A truly heartbreaking story hit the metal world this week. Cameron Heacock, former frontman of American Head Charge, was featured in a new Soft White Underbelly episode where he revealed he has been homeless in Los Angeles for 5 or 6 years and is actually struggling with fentanyl addiction. Despite everything, Cameron says that he still has so much music in his heart and truly hopes that he will get back on his feet and perform for his loyal fans at some point in the future. And fans and old friends themselves simply flooded the comments with support, with some even discussing organizing a benefit show to help him get back on his feet, as American Head Charge was actually a rather influential band of the early 2000s, and although I never was really a fan of this band, well, I truly wish Cameron all the best, and for him to get back on his feet and to hopefully perform for his loyal fans sometime in the future. Surprises from Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses are hitting the road again, and 2026 shaping up to be another monstrous year for the band, as this week they've announced a huge 31-date world tour, kicking off in Mexico on March 28, rolling through Brazil, then into Europe, and finally tearing across the United States and Canada, including a massive return to the Rose Bowl for the very first time in over 30 years. Yet, if we're being very honest, that is by far not the most important news from the Guns N' Roses camp this week, as in addition to that announcement, Guns N' Roses also promised to release whole 2 new songs, and not in some distant future, but on December 2nd, marking their first new releases since 2023, and land during the fan club pre-sale window as a special bonus for Night Train members. Now, these two songs will be titled Nothing and Atlas. And I guess the biggest question mark for all of the die-hard Guns N' Roses fans at this stage is what exactly are those? Because if we're being very honest, songs with very similar titles, or not really songs, but rather rough demos of songs, have been circulating around the Guns N' Roses community for several years now. And I guess in less than a week we'll find out how the reunited Guns N' Roses lineup was able to reimagine those songs. And if those are even the same tracks. And here, by the way, I just wanted to quickly point out something. For some weird reason, many people say that today in 2025, Guns N' Roses are absolutely irrelevant. And yet still, 2026 shapes up to be a huge year for Guns N' Roses. And given the whole fact that their 2025 tour was pretty much entirely sold out, I'm actually more than sure that the same thing will happen for their 2026 dates. And we're not talking about small clubs and venues, we're talking about huge stadiums all across the world. So yeah, no matter what anyone says, Guns N' Roses music still makes thousands and millions of people happy all around the world. Although if we're being very honest, the thing that many Guns N' Roses fans really want to hear from the band is a brand new album. And let's hope that these two new songs will be just the first step towards it. But anyways, what new music did you listen to this week? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to like it, comment under it, spread the word about the channel, and of course join our communities on Instagram, X, Threads, Facebook, Discord, and I mean anywhere you can post content these days. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!